So you want to retire, but you didn't save any money. Well, I've got the solution. First, you go down to the thrift store, and then you look for these little Cabbage Patch kids. And then you buy them at like $5 a piece, and you sell them for $10. And then you can just retire and go live on a beach somewhere. Yeah, I just shipped my first successful eBay sale. So, just wanted to give y'all an update on what's going on. So I've been researching, working hard, and I even went thrifting with my girlfriend up in Canada, and I've got some thoughts on what this new income stream I'm adding. So if you're looking to retire and you didn't save money, you still got to make money. Which, doesn't necessarily mean you got to go work for the man like certain people want me to go do, and I feel like some people are just waiting for me to fuck up. And yeah, I fuck up a lot. You've seen my last few videos with the trading thing. Actually, trading is going well right now. The S&P 500 was up after hours, so I'm actually going to... I had 2 trades I put in last week that expire Friday. And they're looking like I'm on track to, I might close them out today for about 90% profit, 80%, somewhere in there. But yeah, everything's looking pretty fucking good right now on those trades. But they expire Friday, so who knows. But I'll probably close them out today if the market stays up or continues to go up. That being said... I've been studying and learning and trying to figure out how to become a reseller. And I gotta say, I'm pretty optimistic about it. Obviously, you want to buy for as cheaply as possible when you can. And you go to thrift stores, you go to bins. We do have a bin store here. It's called Black Friday Deals. So I might go there and check that out at some point. But right now, when you start out, and most of the reselling gurus tell you this, you just start out with what's in your house. Shit you don't need anymore, shit that's been sitting on a shelf. Put that minimalism to work. And if you've got something that's sitting around, sit around with Google Lens or with the eBay app, take a picture of it, see what it's selling for. And if it's worth it, if you can beat the cost of shipping and you have a high enough margin of, 20% or higher, obviously you can get really cool things that have like a 80 to 100%, or 2x or 3x in some cases. It's interesting to see what's out there and what's selling. But all of this is untested for me. So if don't go off of me, go watch the other YouTubers who do this for a living. I'm not looking to do it full time. I'm looking to kind of just supplement all my other income streams, unless it becomes super successful. I will say that reselling, of all of the things a retired person could do in their spare time to make some cash, is the most work. Like, listing takes a while. You have to research. You have to, but it's kind of fun. I will say that. It's kind of fun. Doing the research, doing the shopping. My girlfriend absolutely loved it. In fact, when I went up to Canada this last weekend, and I'm like, let's go check out the thrift store, and I'm going to see if I can buy a few things and flip them. She went absolutely bonkers in there. She was finding all kinds of shit. By the way, if you want to see what's for sale in my eBay store, the link will be in the description. I haven't figured out if there's a way to better do that with YouTube yet. But for now, it's there. And yes, there's a set of Cabbage Patch Kids dolls on there. I was inspired by the biggest contributor to my channel over the years, David MSP, who was busting my balls in the comments. When he was talking to a flatbed driver that was like, you can make six figures, I'm making six figures, you can make six figures. That's not how it works. No. Not to mention flatbed is not fun. It's very physically intensive usually. And you get inspected all the time on those. I see that they get pulled in all the time at this. Don't get me started. But that being said, yes, there are those kinds of jobs out there, six-figure company jobs. They're rare. There's a reason the medium income was $54,000 of a truck driver. That's across the entire spectrum, including owner-operators, including specialty haulers, all of that shit. Yes, those jobs are out there. They're usually very location-dependent and hard to find. That being said, I don't want to fucking do it. I want to retire, all right? How many times I got to tell yous? I want to retire from trucking. I've done 21 years. I don't want to do 21 more years or however long, it takes for my health to get to the point where I won't be able to pass the DOT physical. I'm done. I want to be done with it. And if selling some fucking Cabbage Patch dolls is the way to do it, then I'm going to be a Cabbage Patch doll selling motherfucker. Anyways, back to the thrifting. So my girlfriend just starts throwing things in my, bringing things, here, try this, here, try, and I'm sitting there, and I know I'm an asshole, but I'm sitting there scanning everything. It's generally frowned upon when you just go in there and you start scanning things to do that. They allow it. They don't care. The thrift store's making money. They're happy with it. And I wasn't the only one there doing it. There were people waiting for carts to come out. It was crazy in there, actually. We can talk about some of the things going on with Canada in another video. But I'm in there and she's bringing shit to the cart faster than I can figure out if I want to buy it or not and resell it. So I ended up just with a variety of shit to try and flip. And, I'll be amazed if any of it sells, to be honest. But I'm giving it a shot. I looked everything up. I'm charging what they sell for, essentially. And I'll probably, work on it as time goes on. But that being said, the update is, I'm on track already because I sold my camera on Facebook Marketplace for $350. I probably could have waited that out. But I'm not comfortable with eBay enough to put big dollar items up just yet. I'm working my way there. I want to, get some of the scammers to come at me and figure out what's going on there before I risk. And I do feel like it's still a risk. There's a chance you could get scammed. And that's just from doing the research. A lot of the resellers say is maybe 2-3% chance of getting scammed. But, it's part of the cost of doing business, as in, if you do a lot of sales, then, if one or two of them screw you, then you just take that as a business expense and deduct it from your taxes. But that being said, there's lots of recourses. I don't want to get into the scam side of things just yet because I'm just starting out, and I'll let you know when I get scammed. Trust me, there'll be some bitching and moaning. But I am already in profit. I did have to do some initial investing. I bought a thermal printer with labels. I've bought some shipping supplies. I will say, don't go to fucking Walmart for your shipping supplies. Their prices are insane. I started out buying actually from eBay some shipping supplies as well. I've yet to receive those, but sometime this week I'll get them. But that helps because you get buyer ratings, and it helps people realize that your eBay account isn't just a throwaway eBay account. It's hey, look at it, he's buying shit, he's selling shit. It's got to be a real dude. His pictures look like ass. I'm on the fence whether to make my photography skills and make my pictures better. Right now, I'm just been using my phone and taking pictures whenever I can, wherever I can. But there's an argument to be made both ways. A lot of people are like, you got to take pretty pictures in a light box and do all that. But when I see that as a buyer, I'm just like, Ooh, are those stock photos? Are they showing me stock photos? Is it the real thing? Whereas, when the guy with the iPhone's taking pictures of his shit, pretty much he's taking pictures of his shit. Though you might get that, is he a scammer? He's using his iPhone. I don't know. It's impossible to decide which is better, to take the really good pictures or to use your phone to do it. Using the phone to take the pictures, I will say, is a little less labor intensive, so that saves some time. That's what I'm noticing so far. But I don't have a lot of items up. I think I have 9 items as of this morning, and I've got a bunch more that I bought up in Canada. I will say, Canada cross-border sourcing, you're allowed, if you're there for overnight like I usually am, or for at least, I think it's 24 or 48 hours, you have like a $200 or something spending limit before you get duties and taxes and customs and all of that shit. Which in a thrift store, you're not going to spend. I spent 128 Canadian. It worked out to about $90 USD, and I left with 22 items. And I averaged $4 per item. So $4 per item is pretty good. And if you average it out, that means, some of the things you buy aren't ever going to sell. Some of the things are. And, once you make your money back, so once I make $90 back, then I'm in profit on the whole lot that I bought. So that's the way I'm doing my math on that, is to essentially go by the average price of things when I go on a thrift store hunt or whatever. That way I'm not as worried about one thing selling or another thing selling, and then after 2 or 3 items of the 22 sell, it's probably going to be in profit, as in, doesn't matter what happens with the rest of the items, as long as, I keep making profit. Obviously, the more you sell, the more you're going to make, and so you got to still pick good items, things that will sell, but you won't be afraid to discount them once you've made back what you purchased. And you get kind of a double discount. First of all, there's thrift stores, Value Village up in Canada is where we went, and they have discounts there. My girlfriend has coupons and stuff for like 25% off or so much items, that kind of stuff. So we did that, and also crossing the border, the Canadian dollar is worth 70 cents US. So, and their pricing in the thrift stores is the same as like our Goodwill or the ones we have here. So essentially, I'm getting a discount because of the currency conversion rate. Now, I can't go hog wild and buy shit tons of shit because, like I said, $200 or so. It might be more. I didn't look it up. But I know that there's the longer you're in Canada, the more you get. I think if you're in Canada for more than 48 hours, that it goes up to $800 Canadian. So, but it's an excellent way to source your items. I'm definitely, that's going to be part of my business model. But I'm still going to look around local in the bin stores and that kind of stuff, and pawn shops, and just kind of keep an eye out for things. There's some things I know really well. The first thing I sold today, my first eBay sale, even though I've already sold the camera on Marketplace, the first thing I sold was the Akai MPK Mini Mark III. I have a shit ton of MIDI controllers laying around, and I don't need them all. I have the ones that I use for making my music. The rest are just kind of ones that I tried out, and they're spares. So I'm going to be selling off those to start with, and that sold pretty quickly. So that when something sells that quickly, that tells me that I'm on to something there, that I need to get more of that on the market. So in addition to selling those, I will look for them out in the wild as well, just to get them moving. And I know from being a music producer that the times that I've wanted to buy those things and try them out or whatever, sometimes you just need a little travel thingy to get where you're going and whatnot. But yeah, I'm really thrilled that I've got my first sale under my belt on eBay. I'm going to continue listing, and if you guys want to support the channel, you can head to my eBay store and buy some shit from me. That's right. You know, I don't know if that's a thing, but you know, if there's something on there you're interested in, it helps me out. It helps me survive out here. Or you can just either become a channel member or do a super chat or something like that. So now, some of the other downsides, I think, of doing this is you need space to do it. You got to have a place to put the items, and you got to be organized with it too, because if you screw up and you lose an item and you sell it and you go look for it and you can't find it, that's very, very bad from what I hear. So the reason I'm excited about this is it seems like something that if you are in control of your time, that you can do it mostly when needed. Now, the downside of that is you are giving up a little bit of control of your time. As of right now, if the way I'm set up, and this can change, and obviously the quicker you ship your items, the better. But 2 days handling time is what I get, and the weekends don't count. So, like, if somebody buys something Friday night, guess what? You don't have to ship it till Monday. So that leaves your weekends open to do whatever. Usually you'll be outsourcing during those periods. If you enjoy that, if you don't, but you do have to source that, you got to have items coming in. But for right now, I don't have to source. I'm kind of doing it to kind of get a feel for it and see what sells and what doesn't and that kind of stuff. And try out some things. Experimenting, I might take a bit of a loss doing that, but I want to figure out what sells and what doesn't, for me, not just by what other YouTubers or whatnot that are in this space, not by going by just what they sell. There might be something that they just do all the time and they ignore all the other shit. But look forward to videos where I talk about the things I sell and the things I don't, the passes and fails. And I've already made a couple mistakes. I bought a few items that once I got them home, I looked at them and they're kind of too damaged to sell. Or they've got wear and tear on them that other items that of similar items aren't having. So I've already lost a few $4 items, but while I was in the thrift store, I did, because phone cases, from what I can tell, do actually sell if they're in good condition. And I found for $4 Canadian, I found a thing of 5. So that works out to about, when you do all the math, around 80 cents per case. And they sell anywhere from $8 to $24 on eBay. So, if I sell all 5 of those, then I basically flipped the $4 US actually to, because I already did the conversion. So if I do that, I flip $4 US into, potentially $50 or $60. And seeing numbers like that from a trading perspective, because I am still trading on the side, I feel like I can I can work both of these into my workflow. So, I can make some money with eBay and then take it and put it in the stock market and grow it even more. So I'm thinking in terms of, growing capital, reinvesting, that kind of stuff. But there is a formula that's out there that you can do without any capital. And basically, you go around your house, you find some things that you're not using anymore, you see what they're worth, and then you try selling them on eBay. And as you sell them, I haven't exceeded, even with that trip to the thrift store, I still haven't exceeded the money that I got from my camera. So I'm still in profit, in the green on this. And that's with buying the scale and the shipping supplies and all of the stuff I need to do the business, and the label printer, the thermal label printer and stuff, which you don't need any of that. You can always just print your shit at the post office. But I find it's more of a pain in the ass, and I think because the customer sees right away when you buy the tracking number, so that usually gives them a lot of confidence when they buy something from you. And for example, I bought something recently, and I'll talk about it when it gets here, if it gets here. But I bought something for like $10, and they didn't do the tracking number till like 4 days later, and it still hasn't hit the post office there yet. So it's important to be able to print your tracking number at home, I think, which if you have a normal printer with some labels, you can do it that way as well. I just chose to get the thermal printer because I like the idea of not having to buy toner cartridges or any of that kind of shit. And the way a thermal printer works, you have like the paper has some kind of coating on it that the thermal printer turns into print. I don't know how it works, but it works. So I'm still in the green, and I started essentially with just selling a camera that I was sitting in my closet for 2 years unused. I brought it out, dusted it off recently, and used it as a webcam for a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, it still works. And then I sold it. And yeah, I got talked down from what I wanted for it. I wanted $700 for it. It looks like they sell around $500 on eBay, and I got $350 in person for it. But it got me started, and I didn't have to invest my current money. And I have tons of cameras. That camera was definitely just sitting on a shelf, wasting my life. I did not need it. It's nice to have a spare, but like I said, what is the cost of that spare? And had I not taken that off the shelf and got it moving and sold it, I wouldn't have had the capital to start this business without going out and doing a ton of deliveries, and putting in more time. It took less time to sell that camera than it would to take enough deliveries to start this business. So, you don't have to start with, you can scale as you learn and you grow. And that's what I'm interested in. It doesn't require a huge overhead to get started. You can reinvest your profits whenever you sell something. This thing I just sold, I took in $38 of profit after shipping and fees and all that other horse shit. I sold it for $50. And with shipping, it came to $63 or something like that. But there's lots of fees that eBay takes as well. But that being said, I can take that $38 and go to the thrift store, right now if I want. And that's it, I can't even sell that in Guitar Center for that price. So we'll see. I'm sure I'm going to make mistakes, and I'm sure y'all are going to point out, see, he can't do it, he's failing, look at that, he took a loss on this later, took a loss on that. But on my spreadsheet that I'm starting for the business, because obviously you got to keep track of everything for taxes, eBay does file a 1099K, so it's, you got to definitely write up, keep track of your expenses. I'm saving my receipts for the things I purchase for the business. If I'm doing a trip for the business, I could probably write off my trip to Canada as a sourcing trip, which would be nice. So I'm starting to keep track of those kinds of things, and I think it's going to work out. I feel like I'm definitely going to be able to source in Canada, and my girlfriend likes to do that with me. It's like almost like a date. She likes shopping. That helps. You gotta like shopping. I'm not as big of a shopper, but I'm more in it to spotting the treasure. There is a treasure hunting aspect, and when you figure out something that you used, like I used to walk through these thrift stores and I'm like, who would want this shit? Who wants a Starbucks mug? Or any of that kind of shit. Well, turns out Starbucks mugs are collectibles. So, a lot of those $4 items. I think I bought like 3 Starbucks mugs, and I have one listed right now. So if you're a collector, the one I have listed even has a print error on the bottom of it. Instead of saying 12 ounces, it says 2 ounces, which I thought was makes it kind of rare, and it's already got some interest in it. But yeah, you buy low, sell it high. That's how it works. And collectors, and you also got to think in terms of who's buying this stuff. Not everybody is in a town that has a Walmart and a thrift store or anything. You know, some people live in the middle of nowhere and they just buy things online. And you're providing them a service by going around and finding the shit, you know, and mailing it to them. You know, that's a valuable service. In this day and age where people don't go to the stores anymore, it seems like online selling is pretty much the where it is. You know, you used to have to open a physical store to do this kind of shit. Now you can do it all online. You can have an online store essentially, and just use like a room in your basement or a storage shed or an attic or whatever to store the items while you wait for them to sell. I'm excited. I'm excited for this journey. I'm sure I'm gonna fuck up, but it's an unlimited potential. You know, you can scale this as big as you want to get. You know, if you put 70 hours a week into it, I'm sure you could easily make $75,000 to $100,000 a year. But you're gonna, you know, there's a lot of work to get there. I'm not looking to scale huge, but if I find that I'm being successful and my numbers keep going up, and I start making really good money with it, then yeah, it could become my main income stream. You know, it'd be a competition with YouTube and reselling, but you can do both. You can document as you go. I seen one guy that does this on YouTube, and he was able to not only hire an editor, but he hired an employee and a camera guy. You know, the employee did both. He worked for the reselling business and did the camera, you know. And I feel like once I get to a certain point, if I get up to $50,000 a year, I will turn it into an official business, you know, with a LLC or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But we'll see. I'm hopeful, but none of this is fucking advice. Don't do it. It's a risky proposition, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna say I'm already ahead of the game, and I'm just starting out. I don't know that it's a high risk thing when you just grab an item that's sitting on your shelf that you already got all the use of over the years, worked fine, but it's just sitting there, you know, for over a year. It's sitting on your shelf. Then guess what? You turn it into the profit, then you take that profit and you can get more. Or if you got a bunch of shit, which is in my case what the deal is, I have a bunch of shit. Some of it's really high dollar shit. I don't have to go out and earn extra money to do this. I can just sit there, research what I already have. You know, my thrift store is my stuff. You know, and you also find that friends and family want to get involved too. They're like, hey, what do you get for this? What are you going to do that? You know, and you start sourcing that way. As far as other sourcing, there's estate sales. I've looked into that, and there's a bunch of them that happen around here. That's very morbid. I'll definitely be vlogging a lot about that because I have some thoughts on that. You know, it's really, I find it interesting that, you know, when you pass away, you don't take your items with you. They end up just fucking being sold off. Obviously, your family takes what they want, and everything else ends up out in the market, you know, by resellers reselling it. That's what happens. People aren't going to estate sales necessarily to buy shit for themselves. They're going there to buy shit to resell it. That's how it works. Same thing for yard sales. You know, garage selling is going to be a thing. And these are things you can do as a couple and enjoy too. So it's like, is it work to do the sourcing part? The sourcing's the fun part though. it gets tedious when you're listing the items, taking pictures, doing the research, trying to price them out, and then trying to move them if they sit too long. These are all things that are going to take up the bulk of your time. It's not all going to be, I'm going to stores all day, yay. No, you got to list, store, organize, ship, and it's a whole process. So this is not a get rich quick scheme. You got to do your homework, you got to do the work. But I feel like if I combine this with all the other income streams, YouTube, okay, let's go over my income streams. So I am making some money from YouTube now. I've got ads coming in. I've got some generous subscribers that contribute to the channel to encourage me to make more videos. I've got that. I've got deliveries, which right now I'm in the rental car still because my fucking van isn't ready. It's supposed to be ready this week. Hopefully they do a good job on the van. And then I can take some of the bigger deliveries again. But that'll also help with sourcing, having a van instead of the car as well. Put more items in a van. So I've got deliveries. That's still a big part of what I'm using to survive. I'm going to have reselling, trading, YouTube, deliveries. What else? I got something else I do. And one of them's going to probably take over. One of them's, they're competing with each other for my time right now. But obviously I'm going to put more time into the ones that provide the most revenue. So we'll see. We'll see. Right now, deliveries were at the top, but YouTube's coming up on it. We're starting to get closer to where it might be worth more of my time to make videos instead of deliveries. And I think if I had to gauge from what I'm seeing so far, reselling actually could make it so I don't have to do deliveries anymore. I'm still going to do them because it makes sense. Like if I'm going somewhere and I see a delivery for $20, guess what? I'm going to go do it on the way there, especially if it's going where I'm going anyway. It's kind of a no-brainer. So these are all the things you can do when you're retired, but you didn't save up enough fucking money to be retired, all right? And I am now optimistic that I'm going to make it most of the year. I could be wrong, but I feel like I might make it the full year based on the numbers I'm getting currently. I've literally just started and I've already got 2 sales under my belt of things that I have. And it's just a question if I have the skill to source. You got to be able to find the items that you're going to sell, and you have to find them at a price that's below what they're worth. So those are the 2 keys, But I'm finding that there's people that just want to get rid of shit. They don't care. They don't care if you're going to make money off it. They don't care anything about it. They just, here you go. I'm already seeing it. There's already people around me. Hey, my girlfriend gave me some purse that I, she wants me to look into trying to sell. So people are donating to my cause items, which no, I do not want items donated to me. So, but like I said, if you want to help out, you want to contribute, you can check out my eBay store, and if there's something you like, or maybe you want to resell, I don't know. I don't necessarily know that I'm charging the highest price for things, so I don't know if there's some meat on the bone if you decide to go buy some of my shit. But there will be a variety of items, just because I don't care, I've got women's shoes already. I've got a couple of purses and a women's wallet that I'm selling. I've got kids' toys. I've got obviously music shit, photography shit, camera bags, phone cases. I'm really just going with the flow on what's selling, and I'm looking for good sell-through rates. And right now I'm just sampling the market. I'm seeing what sells, what doesn't sell, and we'll see. And so far I've only sold items that I had already. Nothing I've thrifted yet. That'll be the next milestone, is when I sell one of those things I picked up in Canada. So, but I want to try and move some of that just to see what it is. Like I said, I'm probably gonna, get I'm probably going to be fucked in some of the things I bought, because, you know, I kind of don't know what I'm doing with the thrifting. So I'm just buying some random shit that I think will sell based on what I've been hearing in my research so far. But I'm still new at this, so I know I'm gonna buy items that are gonna end up in a dead pile. You know, a dead pile is a pile that you probably didn't even list, you know, or something, or items that, you know, I've already thrown out an item because it just was in too poor condition. I basically took a loss on it. I also had bought, like a dumbass, I bought a game for PlayStation 3, thinking it was in the box, and then I get home and I open the box and there's no disc. So apparently I had to have taken it up to the counter and be like, well, where's the disc for this? Unless it was box only, that would be funny too. So yeah, I learned my lesson there. There's another $4 US out the door, but I'm still in the green. Like, the entire haul, I'm still in the green, as in I'm still haven't exceeded what I sold my camera for. So I've got enough margin now that even if I didn't sell any of the items I bought, I still am in profit. And that tells me something. That tells me mathematically that, you know, if I find some good treasures that give me like that, you know, 100% or 200% or 85% profit, you know, or 1,400%. I mean, the sky's the limit on that. You know, there's somebody gives you something for free and you go and sell it for $150, or you find something for 50 cents at a garage sale that sells for $50. You know, that's some significant profit margin there. So I feel like everybody is making fucking noise when I try and make a video. You know, I had people pull up and their fucking music blaring and shit. I should probably make my video somewhere else. Anyways, what the fuck do I know? Because I'm not an expert. I'm just an asshole. Please like and subscribe for more shit, and I'll make more shit. If you like this video and you want me to make more videos, you can go ahead and become a channel member. You can leave a super thanks in the comments, or if you're watching this on a premiere, you can leave me a super chat. And I want to thank those of you who have done so, my channel members. I have 3 now. Once I hit 10 channel members, I will do at least one exclusive video per week for my channel members. I'm still going to do the normal videos, but I'll do an extra video for my members once a week. But I need 10 people to justify the time on that. Otherwise, I just put my videos here when I can get to them. Anyways, have a nice motherfucking day and shit. And no, I'm not gonna buy fucking Cabbage Patch dolls unless I see like a vintage one that's worth $100 for like $5 at a garage sale or something. So yeah, I don't know that that's in my future. So settle down, Dave. There's more to life than selling Cabbage Patch Kids. And yes, if it does sell, I'm gonna rub your nose in it.